somebody? Okay, good evening, everybody. I call this meeting to order at, I don't have the exact time. Rosalie, do you have the exact time?
7:01 p.m.
7:01 p.m. Great, thank you. Okay, if you would call the roll call. Thank you.
Joan Jacobs,
Present.
Rosalie Preston, present. Jenny Nixon,
Here.
Laverne Frericks,
Present.
Laverne, you need to turn off the phone, otherwise it creates a feedback.
Oh, I thought she was just being funny.
Dave Trejo,
Here.
Marvin Bell,
Here.
Frankie Mays,
Present.
Jackie Jackson,
Here.
Vanessa Simmons,
Oh my God, I can't find mine.
Here.
Craig Kusunoki.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Okay, item number two is general public comment on non-agenda items that within the Neighbourhood Council's subject matter jurisdiction. Each speaker will be allowed 2 minutes per speaker. Please press *9 to raise your hand and *6 to unmute yourself. Okay. Do we have any hands raised? I'm not sure why I'm not seeing it at the moment, but any participants, but
I don't see any hands raised.
no, me neither. So I will just call once more that if you have a question or wish to speak on something which we will not be speaking on later, but is still within our jurisdiction, then please press *9 to raise your hand and then *6 to unmute. I see nobody. Okay, so let's go on to item number 3, which are our reports. Is Officer Martinez, I see, is here. Would you like to give a report, Officer Martinez?
Yes, Ms. Jacobs, can you hear me?
Yes, just
Okay,
about.
good. Okay. Hi, everyone. This is Officer Martinez. I'm the Senior Lead Officer for Basic Car 18 Adam 97. And just for anybody here, my boundaries are, it's a big giant box. It goes all the way down to the south, the 91 freeway, all the way to the north, Imperial Highway, and then Vermont and Figueroa, I have that. So I have the long corridor. So what I've been working on lately and recently are cleanups. We're working a lot with CD15, doing cleanups. And today we actually did a street cleaning, sidewalk cleanup. If you're familiar with the Edge of Town Motel, that's like at 121st and Figueroa. Unfortunately, there's no room right now to remove motorhomes, but we cleaned the area. And in doing so, this one tugged a little bit at my heart because we removed 10 dogs from this location under horrible conditions, horrendous conditions. So animal regulations came out and they removed animals from this location. And so that was the rainbow of what we did, the good thing that happened there. But it was just a lot of these motorhomes that are parked, gathering together. We're finding a lot of issues happening with that. And we've seen this in the past with homeless encampments. We're seeing copper wire thefts. We're seeing property thefts in the neighborhood. And when you look at these motorhomes, and especially in the inside, they have a lot of things that are of value. It's, and it's amazing. And we need to start really looking seriously into this. Our council, our county supervisors, everyone. We just recently also regarding cleanups, I just attended a meeting with a business district meeting for the corridor, and it had a lot of county businesses involved also. So Broadway, Figueroa, all the way to Vermont. About 30 individuals attended, and there's a lot of issues. You know, I don't know if anybody here listening is familiar with the Broadway corridor. That's the county side, but still it'll affect us also because there's just a major amount of motorhomes. And we were at 134th Street and Broadway at a meeting there, and Tim McCosker responded there, and it was a good meeting, but we talked a lot about the copper thefts that are happening and the homeless and what is kind of what we're trying to project to do in the near future. And we're still working diligently with our council officers and everyone to house these individuals and get them off the streets. But that's one thing we're working on. We did another cleanup south of Rosecrans Park, the railroads were out there. Myself and several other senior leads went out there. We cited these individuals for trespassing, and then a day later, the railroads went out and cleaned them up. And so it's an ongoing thing, but it's a tough one because it's not technically City of Los Angeles jurisdiction. It's the railroad jurisdiction. So, but we do have an agreement with them. We utilize that. And then another thing I'm working on is 172 South Vermont Avenue. That's that big AT&T building. I've been getting a lot of reports, not only from the business, but from the merit track regarding vendors in front. So I actually, one of the vendors, he sells flowers. He was previously warned of his trailer to be removed and his van, and both of them are expired and they're eligible to be impounded. Well, he moved the trailer, he never moved the van, he still blocked the sidewalk. So I cited him for blocking the sidewalk, and I impounded his van. He had no intention of moving anything, and he's still out there vending. So I'm working with the county health department to look at other vendors along that sidewalk because it's affecting the ADA accessibility. It's affecting AT&T business because they're parking inside on the inside parking lot at AT&T. And not only that, they're blocking the driveway, the entrance in and out after hours when big rigs or big large trucks need to go in and out of AT&T. So it's a major problem now, and we're dealing and working with it. I still get reports from Dave Matthews and Mr. Trejo regarding a lot of graffiti down there near the 165th Street Charter School. I have informed our officers, our gang unit, so they tell me they're down there and they're looking at it. So if anything comes out of a quality arrest or anything, I will let you know at a meeting. And then also I wanted to mention too, there's a house on 132nd Street, the 700 West block. Unfortunately, an elderly female Asian had passed away. It's close to a year now, but people are seen now maybe going in and out of that house. When I looked at it yesterday, the house was secure. But to anybody out there, if you have vacant houses, please let us know so we can at least monitor them, because there's a lot of homeless that are, they'll see it and they'll see a house, maybe the yard's not kept up and it looks, abandoned, and they'll go in there. And so, this is where neighborhood watch, just an eye comes into effect, and we can really use that. And then stolen vehicles, there's been a couple during the past few weeks stolen on the 800 West block of 126 and 120th. A Land Rover and a Dodge were taken, and they still not have been recovered. And then the senior leads, we're starting to do our task force in the middle of the week. So we're gathering together, utilizing our resources and working together and working on problems in each senior leads area, whether it be encampments, whether it be thefts, robberies, whatever it may be, but we're taking turns and we're working that angle on it. So with that, that's all I have right now. Any questions, concerns?
Thank you very much.
Martinez,
Yes, sir, Mr. Bell.
how are you? Are they going to get to the railroad tracks on 100 behind 117th?
Okay, so remember, everybody, the railroad tracks are not the City of Los Angeles. We just work with railroads and Caltrans. But yes, that's Officer Homoka.
Okay.
Are you talking about in my area though, or which?
Yes.
Which 17?
On 117 between Figueroa and Hoover.
Yeah. I've already talked to our Captain Paz
Okay.
of Railroad, so they have that on their agenda. But I can only do so much I move when they move, basically. So that is scheduled, and that's on the agenda also.
Oh, that's appreciated. I just wanted to know because I have a stakeholder in the area that's a real problem for her, and I just
Yeah.
wanted to have something to tell
Yeah,
her. When I speak to her.
you know, Marvin, I actually today I went over there. I cited a vehicle. I'll probably impound 2 vehicles over off 117th in Denver. You know that
Okay.
it dead ends into the railroad right there. But that's where they utilize and use go back and forth a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was over there today, and I'll be back there tomorrow.
All right. Thank you very much.
Oh, no
Appreciate
problem,
it.
sir.
Okay.
Any other questions for Officer Martinez?
Hey, Officer Martinez, it's Dave Trejo.
Hey,
Thank you
Mr.
for
Trejo.
noting that graffiti has been happening every day for like the last week and a half. It's been bad.
I know. I
Uh,
get Dave Matthews also tells me, and I get your photos.
Yeah.
I have talked to our gang units, and they, you know, they're pulled everywhere, but they are trying to get down there and do what they can. Like I say, if I get anything quality out of there, I will absolutely let you guys know. And I'm trying to get patrol to get more activity down there. It's we're so, and there's a broken record, but we are
Yeah.
very shorthanded, and I'm just we need something down there. We really do. I would love to have a substation, something down there, but it's something we're working with our council district with. I've mentioned it. They're aware of it. It's just, you know, Dave, it's Gardena Boulevard, and that little area is the furthest from basically Southeast Station and
Mhm.
Harbor Division. It's closest, the closest division is an outside agency, which is Gardena PD. And it's unfortunate because City of LA it's their jurisdiction. So I mean, it's something that's in the books, but I
Yeah.
continue to thank you for all the information on that, and I just forward everything and I feed it to our officers over there.
Okay.
And we're getting a lot of young officers that are eager, so that's one thing I tell them: hey, work that boulevard, go down there, be present, man.
Yeah.
Get your lunch, go down there, eat outside your car down there, park. You know, just do what you got to do. But I'd love to see you down there. So yeah.
Yeah. Two things for you. One, I got a camera installed on 165th and Ainsworth.
Okay.
That gets that intersection pretty well. So like, you should come by, check it out.
Hey, Dave, have you connected with Officer Roth also? He's our motor officer.
I haven't.
Okay, I'm gonna have him connect with you through email.
Mhm.
He's in charge of our motorcycle unit, and they work problem areas. So I know the graffiti's not, but maybe more enforcement. And I hate citing people in general because I don't like taking monies out of people's pocket. But if you're breaking the law continuously by the school, you know, maybe get warned and then cited. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you talk to him also because he has a specialized motorcycle unit they bring everywhere.
Okay. The other thing I was gonna say, just because it's been picking up as summer's ending and schools are starting, is that
Yeah.
Gardena Elementary lets out at 2:33 every day. We'll be letting out at 3:15, and so those are good times to just,
Little later.
if you can prioritize everything, if you can prioritize 2:30 for the Gardena Elementary kids,
Okay.
and 3:15 for our kiddos, it'd be nice
Yep.
for them to be able to walk down the boulevard without
Okay.
so much going on.
No, that's good to know, Dave, and I will let our officers know and everything. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Anyone else? Any other questions? I don't see anything. Okay, Officer Martinez, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. All right.
Right. And so item number 3C is somewhere here from the mayor's office.
Actually, we need to go back to A because Nicholas Chavez is here now.
Oh, has he come back? Is he here now? I didn't see his name.
Yes,
Okay,
I'm here.
thank you. Then CD 15, Nicholas Chavez. The floor is yours. Oh, I see, yes.
Yes, thank you very much. I had just joined. I'm sorry about that. Harbor Gateway South, they rescheduled their meeting. Normally they meet, they're supposed to meet last Thursday and they rescheduled it today. So I just got out of that right now. But good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Nicholas Chavez. I'm the Harbor Gateway representative for Councilman Tim McOsker. One of the things that I did want to thank folks is anyone that attended Summer Night Lights at Rosecrans. I stopped by a few of the times, and the park did an excellent park staff did an excellent job with resources, the activities, the food. It's always a lot of work that goes into the Summer Night Lights, and I would say, in my opinion, it was a big success. So thank you to everyone who participated in that, as well as National Night Out as well at Southeast Division. I know the Neighborhood Council had a booth there, and there was a lot of organizations and resources for the community. So that was a beautiful event. A few other things that I did want to encourage for folks that aren't signed up to our newsletter yet. I definitely encourage you guys to do so. The easiest way to sign up for our newsletter is to go to our website, and I'm gonna put that in the chat. I know that's only for the panelists and the host, but our website is cd15.lacity.gov. And there you can find all of our previous newsletters. You can find the councilman's press releases as they come, and any other kind of miscellaneous updates. Though our website is one of the first things that gets updated all the time. So if you're not signed up for our newsletter yet, please do so. So a few things since we last met. I know we've had basically two new kind of neighborhood groups. We've had the Merit Track Neighborhood Watch and also the 116th Block Club. So one at the very south of Harbor Gateway North and one at the very north. And they've both been, tremendous successes. They've gotten, a lot of folks out engaged in their community. And so it's been a pleasure to join both meetings in both of those communities. Another thing that I want to give an update on is the property that is on 120th and Central on the southwest corner. It's the shopping square that used to previously have the Taco Pete's taco restaurant. I know I've gotten some concerns from both Willowbrook neighborhood groups as well as kind of residents there in the community. It's basically the southernmost property of our district right there. It's the dividing line between Willowbrook and the city of LA. And the folks have been concerned with the graffiti there, the people that have been breaking in and out at night. There's a few folks that are living there currently as of now in the vacant buildings. But the good news is it will be cleared out later this week. The new owner, who is going to build some apartments, I believe years ago they interacted with the neighborhood council, but they are moving forward with their demolition plans and the remediation of kind of that corner. So later this week, they're going to have crews on site clearing up the property, and he's working on obtaining his demolition for sometime in September. So I just want to give updates for those folks that live nearby.
And Nicholas, I just want
Yes.
to interject that they never have approached the neighborhood council on their project. None of those apartment projects on those corners have.
Oh,
So
okay.
we'll try to get their contact and invite them to a future.
Okay, and I do have his contact. So the proposed, if I remember correctly, it's going to be a 3-story apartment complex with about 50 odd something units. What's currently proposed. So definitely I can share his contact info if you guys would like to invite him to a subsequent meeting. The other thing I did want to report on is Union Pacific. So I know last week they did have a cleanup behind Rosecrans Recreation Center. Unfortunately, that area has been, a hub for encampments. I drove past there today to see how it looks or how many folks have repopulated the area. It does look like there's one tent still there on the railroad right of way, which is a lot less than what was there before. But I'm still gonna follow up with the railroad to just keep the area clean, especially right there by the park. Another thing I did want to report on is I know school just started this week, but some of our schools did get updates as far as crossing guards. So Gardena Boulevard will still continue to have one crossing guard. 135th will continue to have one crossing guard as well. And 116th Elementary was given an additional crossing guard. So they already have, last year they had 3 crossing guards, and this year they will have a 4th. So that's great there. Definitely shows our city's commitment and the Department of Transportation's commitment to safe passage routes, especially to and from school. So that is delightful news. Apart from that, I also did want to, remind folks, I think I talked about this at the last meeting, but Southeast does have an armed response now. So whether it's someone going through a mental health crisis that is nonviolent, whether it's someone who, appears unhoused and, maybe they're not wearing clothes or they look lost, they look dazed. I know I've had a call a few times where, it looks like someone's, you can't really tell if they're passed out or just sleeping on the sidewalk. But if you do call the non-emergency number, when you get through to the operator and you let them know the situation, they'll deem if it's a non-violent situation that doesn't require a police officer, and they will dispatch the unarmed response units. They're through Exodus Recovery. They're operating off of Safe Landing, which is in the unincorporated area. I believe it's off of Normandy and oh my goodness, I can't forget the cross street, but it's not that far away from Southeast in the unincorporated area. But they are active and doing a lot of great work all throughout the Southeast area. So I just want to let folks know that that is a resource that we have.
And I believe it's known as the Circle Program, is that correct?
No. So currently right now in the city, there's basically 2 programs. One is Circle, which our district has at Harbor Division. So Harbor has Circle, and then Southeast has the acronym is UMCR, which stands for Unarmed Model of Crisis Response. And if anything, the UMCR is a little bit more extensive with the calls that they get. So normally our Circle team really mostly responds to concerns about homeless encampments or issues with homelessness, whereas the UMCR team has a much broader range of calls that they respond to. So the program that Southeast have is more extensive. So going forward from there, I did want to share our clean team has been extremely active in the Harbor Gateway North. The underpasses are locations that we constantly clean up, whether it's 168th and Estrella, that area, whether it's Broadway and the 105, whether it's Main and the 105, 117th and the 110, 117th Street and the 110. In the past month, we've cleaned up a lot of locations, and Nick Fuentes and their teams from sanitation as well have been great partners with keeping our streets clean. So anytime you do see illegal dumping, feel free to either report it on 311 or send us any request. We also do weed abatement, which we've done quite often. I think we just finished up a few alleys on somewhere on, I believe it's near 117th and Broadway. And we're also working on a few overgrown vegetations off of 132nd and Figueroa. So any requests that you guys have, feel free to contact me and we'll get those on their schedule. The last thing that I wanted to bring up is a new council file that Councilman McCosker submitted. I'm going to put the number in the chat for the host and the panelists, but the council file number is 24-0890. And basically, I know that the council member and one of the city's main focuses has been hiring more police officers. So a few months ago, the city council approved raises for starting salaries of LAPD officers, as well as an incentive-based bonus system that focuses on incentivizing officers that stay on their first few years of service so that we're able to retain them longer in their career. One of the things that we've seen happen is folks go through the academy, they join LAPD, and they normally either transfer out or find employment with another law enforcement agency within their first 5 years of starting with us. And since we approved those raises, we've seen record amounts of applications. The very first month after the raises were approved, we had over 1,200 applicants apply. However, one of the kind of log jams that we've encountered is that our city's personnel department, which is in charge of all hiring, whether it's LAPD, 911 officers, sanitation workers, street services workers, they've just not been able to process some of these applications as fast and as timely as we would like. And the councilman's concern is, if folks are waiting to hear back from personnel or to get further along in the application process, they're either going to find employment in other lines of work, or they'll just be discouraged from joining the department. So this council file is asking the personnel department and the LAPD police department to work together on a report as far as transferring the hiring of Los Angeles Police Department officers from personnel over to LAPD. So this was something that LAPD used to do in the past, I believe prior to the 80s and 90s. I don't know the exact year when it was moved away from LAPD, but the councilman would like to get a report back and determine if LAPD can take over the hiring for their department, in the hopes that that'll help some of these applications get through in a more timely manner. So that's kind of one of the big updates that we've had since council recess has been over and now that council is back in session. The very last thing I wanted to mention is our Clean 15 team. We have two of our employees on staff. One who you met, George Palazzo, he gave a presentation on our clean team a few months ago at I believe it was at 118th Elementary. So George and Yoselin are part of our clean team, and normally we partner with other organizations. For example, one of the organizations that we partner with, they're called CRCD, which stands for Coalition for Responsible Community Development. They do a lot of things as a nonprofit, but one of the things they do is offer employment opportunities to disadvantaged folks from, and young kids from disadvantaged communities to find work. So a lot of our crew members that we contract with are, younger folks from CRCD. And unfortunately, one of our, esteemed crew members, his name was Daniel Enciso. He had just turned 23 years old. And unfortunately, he was killed this past Saturday on his way to work Saturday morning. So our office has been sharing the GoFundMe that his family has started up. I have the flyer and I have the link. I'll look for it right now and I'll send it in the chat. But if you guys are able to contribute, it's been, you know, it's been a tragedy for his family. He was, you know, an amazing young kid. He had been working with us, I believe, for, I want to say 6 or so months, and as recently as last week. So he was one of our great crew members that was helping us out on the clean team with weed abatement and you know, helping us out with quality of life issues. And it's just very unfortunate that this happened. So I will find I'll go ahead and put the link for his GoFundMe in the chat. And if you guys can contribute, it would be greatly appreciated. That concludes the report. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to state them.
Thank you, Nicholas. Does
Um,
anybody? Oh, there is a
Nicholas?
Rosalie, you have your arm up. Oh, who else?
Mr. Bell?
Oh,
Well,
Imam.
so just to ask Nicholas, did you receive the email? One of our stakeholders who lives south of Redondo Beach Boulevard on Vermont and walks to the Rosecrans Recreation Center regularly for exercise. He pointed out that, you know, the pathway as you pass when you're on the north side of Redondo Beach Boulevard to get to the park, it's got a lot of weeds there on the outside of the fencing. And
Okay.
also there's a red truck that the guy parks it there. I mean, it does leave at different times, but you know, it blocks the pathway.
Okay, I might have overlooked that, but I will go ahead and check my emails and I'll address that one.
Okay, I can send you a photo again.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Bell?
Yes, I have the railroad. Nicholas, you say you're working with them. I was just talking to Martinez about the cleanup behind 117th in Hoover to Figueroa.
Yes, and we're trying to actually, this is something that the city is working on. You know, the railroad, you know, we've been very displeased all throughout our district, from Wilmington to, you know, the gateway to Watts, with just, you know, their upkeep of their property. So it's not a guarantee, but I know that we're working on a possible maintenance agreement. So that would help us out greatly if, you know, we're able to overtake that responsibility. Unfortunately, right now I don't have an update. Our clean team, we've cleaned a lot around Hoover, and kind of like right there, Hoover and 117th, just keeping the street clean. I know a few homeowners right there
Yes.
have reached out, and you know, our clean team has cleaned up a little bit behind their property, but I know, you know, the weeds all throughout the railroad track, you know, are starting to get out of control, and there's just a lot of construction dumping in
And
between all the
homeless
tracks.
encounters. And
Yes,
homeless
especially
encampments too.
yeah, especially closer to Figueroa.
Yes.
So I will work with them. I'll send out an email tomorrow morning, and by next meeting, I'll hopefully have some better news for you, Mr. Bell.
And I also have two safety hazards. The
Yes, sir.
lights under the underpath on Hoover off the 105, and then
Okay.
plus the railroad arm barrier on the Figueroa. It's sitting in the middle of the street almost. So it's turning Figueroa and 117th right there almost into a one lane street.
Okay, I'll check that one out tomorrow morning.
Okay.
I'll see what that looks like. I wasn't aware of that one before, so let me check that out and then I can get back to you. So thank you for letting me know about that and write
I
that down.
appreciate that.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Okay, if there are no other questions.
Oh, and Nicholas, just so you know, Officer Martinez earlier said that he'd been working with the guy from the railroad on the homeless at 117th, but
Okay.
he hadn't gotten a response yet.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know.
Okay, thank you, Nicholas. Thank you very much, and thank you for the information about the young man who so tragically was killed. I think we find that in the chat if we wish to, if we can individually. I think we cannot do very much as a neighborhood council because of the restrictions, but individually. So thank you very much. And please give our deepest condolences to the family of the young man if you're in touch with them.
I will. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, going to our next item on the agenda. If someone from the mayor's office here, Rosalie?
Yes, Jocelyn Dominguez is here.
Okay, thank you. So I will ask Jocelyn to give her report, a report. Thank you. Oh, Jocelyn.
Hello.
Hello.
Can y'all hear me today?
Yes.
Hi, everyone. I know it's been some time. I just want to start by apologizing. I know it's been a couple meetings since I've been able to attend. I'm still in school, so unfortunately, this past semester, my class conflicted with this meeting. But today was the last day of the semester, so moving forward, it should be a non-issue. But I just missed engaging with you guys, and I miss these meetings being in person, honestly, but I know Zoom just allows for more participation from the community. So I understand that, but just want to start off by just sharing some exciting news, which I'm sure we're all already very much aware of. But the mayor just got back from Paris yesterday. She did bring with her the Olympic flag, which she did accept during the closing ceremonies of the Olympics in Paris. She was joined by Simone Biles, and just really trying to deliver the message that young girls anywhere can run for office and they can run for gold. So just, if you were able to catch that, such an inspiring moment. It was just a really exciting and amazing thing to see. And so I know we're all pumped about being next to join well, not join, but to host the Olympics in 2028. And I've been getting tons of questions already about how we can make sure, especially our small businesses, how we can make sure that they are ready, that they are involved, and that they can benefit from the Olympics. I did send over a email blast yesterday, just letting people know that any small business that is open to partnering with the city or just wants to keep updated on what's going to be available as we prepare for the Olympics, they need to have a RAMP account. So that is what they need in order to have contracts with the city. And that is how we will be communicating our resources or opportunities as we get closer to the Olympics. So nothing has been sent out yet, but we are really encouraging folks that if that's something they are looking for, they need to have that account ready. So please, I know a few of you are on my emailing list, so if you can just share that information. We do have also monthly webinars where they do a Q&A and kind of walk through the process. So if anyone is having issues setting up their account or just wants further info, that is the place for that, and they are on a monthly basis, and that's also included in the newsletter. So please feel free to include that on your website, just to get that message out there. Also, I know this week was the first day back to school yesterday. So the city was busy preparing to make sure that we had safe passage for our students. So before the start of the school year, the city was able to complete more than 450 school slow zones and more than 250 speed bumps throughout near schools throughout the city of Los Angeles. So just wanted to share that. And then also wanted to share the exciting news. So I know many of us are aware that the mayor does chair the homelessness task force with the Conference of Mayors. So this is the group that lobbies to the White House on the homelessness crisis. And one of the things that they've really been focusing on is lobbying for our veterans who for years now have been having to choose between accepting their benefits or accepting housing. And that's because if they accept their benefits, they are priced out of the housing piece. And we know that we are seeing an increasing number of our veterans becoming unhoused. So we are seeing success there with new policy change that will make veterans eligible for housing and increasing their housing options. So taking away that barrier of having to choose between their benefits and their housing. So that's really great news there. But other than that, I also just wanted to touch on my monthly report. I know it's been some time, and you know this neighborhood council has always been amazing about sharing that report, which I really greatly appreciate. So we've actually been working on revamping that. It's taken a lot longer than I was hoping, but it's going to be in a form of a newsletter that's going to be more interactive. It's going to have like photos of what it is that our team really does, so you can see what it is that community engagement does with the mayor's office, and it's going to list out the opportunities of how you can partner with us. So more about downloading our Impactive app, being a digital ambassador, our house meetings that we're starting to have. And then it's going to have like videos where you'll get to see either the mayor, my deputy mayor, or myself kind of talk more about the highlights of the month. So more to come on that. We're hoping to launch it in September, but just wanted to provide that update because I know this, I do get questions about what happened with the monthly report. So yeah, we're just trying to make it more interactive. But I believe that is all I have. But happy to answer. Oh yeah, and then more on the Olympics. We are planning on having something in October, an event for our small businesses. So more to we're still working out the details, but we will be having more of like a summit for them where they that will be specific for LA 28, and making sure they know what's to come for that. But yeah, that's all. But happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Rosalie, you have a question?
Yes, Jocelyn, we put it in our newsletter
Oh, great.
about the mayor's volunteer group. I'm trying to remember the exact term that was used, and one of our stakeholders wanted to know what that was all about. You can sign up for training. I believe it starts in September.
Training. I'm not.
Volunteer there. It's like a mayor's volunteer group. Let me see if I can find.
Was it our CERT team by any chance? Crisis response team?
Yes, that was it. Crisis
Okay.
response. Well, so what
Okay,
is
CRT.
that?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
it.
so that's more of I haven't taken the course myself, I'll be honest, but basically they take a course on how to be trauma informed, how to respond to a crisis. So like for instance, last year I did work with the CRT team a couple times with shootings that occurred in other areas of the city. One on the east side, one in South LA, where unfortunately, you know, a community member was killed, and it impacted the entire community. So the CRT team was really there to kind of make sure that the community knew what resources were available to them, help connect with the families, and just really be a resource during a time of crisis. and morning. So they really, during that, I haven't taken it myself, but I know with people that I've spoken with that have taken that training, it gets pretty intense, but it's really just providing them the tools and the knowledge on how to respond for, devastating situations like that. But I know we're looking for more people to be to take that course. So that's great.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions? Any other hands I don't see? Okay, Jocelyn, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good evening.
You too. Thank you. So item 3D, Los Angeles County Supervisor, 2nd District, Ara Ann. Ara, oh, sorry. I'm getting your name completely wrong. So sorry. Ara Ann.
Hi. Sorry, I just joined as a panelist, but can everyone hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, John. Hello, everyone. It's been a while. I hope everyone has been well. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ara An, and I'm a field deputy from LA County 2nd District Supervisor Holly Mitchell's office. And currently, we do not have a staff covering the Harbor Gateway North Neighborhood Council, so I'm happy to cover. And I have several updates for you all today, so I wanted to go over them really quick. And afterwards, I'll share some information in the chat. And for some of you that might want the information, I'll be sending the information to our board leaders. So if you can reach out to them, that would be wonderful. But I will start with an event that I have shared at the previous meeting. So I'm happy to share that on August 3rd, we had a really successful Park After Dark event, which was hosted by our office, LA County Parks and Recreations Department. And I was happy that we were able to collaborate with Gardena High School. They had a group called Corazones United Student Organization. So we were able to work together. And we had over, we had 1,000 attendees, and we were able to give away over 50 free laptops to families in need. We also had 380 backpack giveaways, raffle prize, free food and whatnot. So yeah, thank you for those who promoted this event. And it was a great success where we were able to serve our student families around the area. So again, thank you. And our office is hosting a similar event, so I'll be happy to share that. So today's the 13th, and 2 days later, on the 15th, Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m., we will have an event called Lennox Night at the Park. And this will be at Lennox Park. And this park is located at 10828 Condon Avenue in Inglewood, California. And we will have free food, resource fair, free concert, youth soccer clinic, and what have you. I was told that we will have close to 40 resource vendors, which will be amazing. So feel free to share a word happening this Thursday, 6 to 9 p.m. There is a bit.ly link to RSVP, so I can share really quick. So as most of you know, bit.ly, you need to be careful which letter you capitalize and whatnot. So the web link is bit.ly / capitalize S, capitalize D, number 2 dash, capitalize A, lowercase UG dash, numbers 15. So again, I'll send this to the leaders. So if you're interested, please circle back with them. But we're going to have another amazing event for our students and families. So feel free to check this out.
And
Yeah.
Ara, you can
Yes.
type, you could type it in the chat.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for that, Rosalie. After I go over the information, I'll make sure to put this information in the chat. Thank you. And let's see, other update. So on July 23rd, we have Board of Supervisors meeting. I believe at the last meeting I shared about governance motion that our entire LA County is working on to expand the board to 9 seats, create an ethics commission, making CEO's position elected position and what have you. But most recently, I can share that on July 23rd, Supervisor Holly Mitchell and Supervisor Catherine Barger work on a motion which was passed, and this was to list how much, let me see, a ballot measure will cost. And this motion will be reflected on November 2024 election. And as of now, the cost of ballot measure is only provided to voters for the statewide ballot measures. So it will be the first time that county ballot measure will have information on how much it will cost for the taxpayers. So this is something that we have worked on recently. And for, let me see, so for my next update, Supervisor Mitchell was at Culver City around 5 days ago. So there was an unfortunate incident where an elementary school in Culver City had a graffiti that had anti-Black and anti-LGBTQ plus messages. So in order to denounce this hate, Supervisor Mitchell joined Culver City Unified School District leader, city council member, state superintendent, and many other individuals to denounce hate on this. And our LA County Human Resources Commission also has an initiative called LA versus Hate. Their representative also came as well. And as it was shared in the event, the leaders mentioned that hate is a learned behavior, and it often begins at home. So they encourage everyone to share the importance of denouncing hate, which starts at home, schools, and any part of the community. So in the chat, I will also put a link to LA versus Hate school toolkit that we have, and you can visit more information on the initiative at lavshate.org. So lavshate.org, or you can call 211 to learn more information. So our boss was recently part of this. And another thing we also shared is this month marked our 1-year anniversary from having this project called Pathway Home. And let's see, so August marked 1-year anniversary since we had this project. And from August last year, LA County was able to connect over 700 people to interim housing, and we moved over 450 RVs. And in second district where we serve, we were able to connect 296 residents to interim housing, and we moved over 100 RVs. So we wanted to share that. And county, we tackle homelessness through different ways. I know earlier different representatives shared the work that they're doing too. And as we say, homelessness and supporting our unhoused individuals, it's a we problem, and we must work together and whatnot. And at the county, Pathway Home is something that we have been working on. And we also have different resources that we try to provide so that we can help individuals from falling into homelessness. And I actually serve like Hawthorne region, and there in the unincorporated area, we recently opened Project Home Key site so individuals can be housed. As you know, we are short of so many housing units compared to the individuals that live in LA County. So we try to combat in many ways, but this was an anniversary that we were able to welcome as we tackle this issue that impacts everyone across the county. So update on that. And I know this week, many people could have felt earthquake, and many people post on earthquake, but LA County also has resources for this. So any emergency preparedness resource, our website at www.ready.lacounty.gov has emergency preparedness resources. So I will drop this in the chat, and you can also take a look at this. And for those of you listening right now, I can share my email address and office number really quick. If you want to reach out to me, I'll be happy to assist you. So yeah, my first name is Ara, A-R-A. My email address is AAN. So A as in Ara, A as in Ara, N as in Nancy, at bos.lacounty.gov. So AAN at bos.lacounty.gov. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me and I'll be happy to assist you. And our office number is 213-974-2222. So yeah, as I wrap up, for those of you who are not added to our email subscription, you're welcome to join our website at mitchell.lacounty.gov. So mitchell.lacounty.gov, and you can scroll down and sign up to our newsletter. So I'm gonna wrap up there, but please let me know if anyone has any questions over here.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, I don't think that's it. Thank you, thank you, Joanne. And momentarily, I'll drop the information in the chat, and I'll also send this via email. Thank you, Joanne.
Lovely, thank you. Okay, and now we go on to item 3E from Department of Neighborhood Empowerment. Helena Doe. Helena, are you still here? Oh, did I not? Elena?
Hi there, can you hear me? I just got added.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you all for being here and thank you so much for providing space for me to share updates. I first want to say, give a shout out. Thank you about the retreat that's coming up here soon. And thank you to Rosalie for looping me in and giving me some tasks. I'm going to be going to the office and picking up some swag. I want to try to find some cool items to provide for all of you. So gentle reminder, Rosalie, I don't know how you're going about getting t-shirt sizes, but I wanted to look up inventory to see if I can also provide some t-shirts too. So I'm super excited about the retreat. As for other announcements and updates, this one shouldn't affect any of you, but the ethics training that was changed to ethics training for city employees and officials. So just a heads up, if you see that change, the old ethics training was deactivated, but it's still the same training. I think it was actually streamlined into one single section. So just a heads up when that comes up for you. Also, there is a council motion on NC youth participation. It's currently in committee, so it's a work in progress, but Councilmember Rodriguez introduced a motion requesting recommendations on potential methods and options to amend NC bylaws to ensure youth participation and research on term limits. So this might not impact this board. I remember, I think it was last month, we actually got a new youth seat finesse. So, but this is more so, from what I understand, a way to ensure youth participation and representation across the NC system, where maybe there aren't NCs who are focusing on that. And then another, this is on your agenda, but the bylaw amendment about the verification process, I won't go into that, but if when you get to that agenda item, you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them. We also have, I think there's only one homelessness liaison on this board right now, but we have an upcoming virtual homelessness liaison event that is slated for August 29th from 6 to 8. Again, it's virtual, so a lot of folks have been appreciating that because I know it's difficult to get downtown during the week in the evening. Be sure to check that out, and if the homelessness liaison on this board has any questions, feel free to email me directly. Last announcement update is on This isn't from our department, but I wanted to share with all of you because, and again, all of this will be in my follow-up email, but the LA Times recently launched a new tool called Shape Your LA, and it provides detailed information on your local government and neighborhood councils. So you can type in either your address, or if you don't feel comfortable with that, as address near you, and it'll give you who your neighborhood council is, your council member, your district, all that good stuff. And I wanted to share it with neighborhood councils because it may be another way for folks to find you all. And then just some reminders, so you all are already familiar with the survey. I've shared it before. We do have the Perceptions and Insight survey. The deadline is end of August. Harbor Gateway North is currently at a 17% response rate. I'd love to see this go up, even if just by a little margin. Again, this is a crucial way we can strategize priorities in the future. You know, it's one thing, like I've shared before, if I go to my leadership team and I say this board is experiencing this, they might go, oh, well, that's one board. Is it just unique to them? But with these surveys, we can say, oh, 25, 45, maybe 60 NCs are experiencing this, and prioritize strategies moving forward. And Congress of Neighborhoods, I know there's so many reminders about this. I know it on Saturday, September 28th. And I found out today they're going to be launching the list of workshops that will be at the event soon. And then last thing is just NC elections. They will be vote by mail. I think I've shared that already, but just good to keep in mind for outreach purposes. And that is it. Any questions for me?
I do not see anybody with hands up at the
All right.
moment.
Well, I
So-
look forward to meeting you all at the retreat.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it, Elena. Okay. Then we are now going on to item number 4, which is a consideration of changing the stakeholder verification method in the HGNNC bylaws, Article 10, Section 4, from documentation to self-affirmation for the 2025 board election, which will have a vote by mail option only and no in-person voting. And we will have a vote on that. So if anybody would like to make a motion.
Well, I just
Remember?
want to make a little background on it before.
Well, I thought we could do that after we've made a motion, but either way, go ahead, Rosalie. Thank you.
So our neighborhood council.
But before we continue, we
in-
need to finally
I think somebody is speaking in the background. If you could mute whoever is
you've been using for some
has the
time now.
background
To show
noise.
the audience our sports betting approach.
Yeah, is that Marvin to mute?
No, background, I cannot see him here.
All of you that have subscribed, but if you are not.
So in the early years of our neighborhood council, we were a self-affirmation neighborhood council. We did have one election where one of the people running for chair, we later saw had people registering to vote, some of his friends registering to vote in 2 different apartment buildings, which seemed a little unusual, you know, that so many voters would live in those 2 buildings. And then after that, we reverted to documentation, which isn't a problem when you have some in-person voting, because then people can come, they can show their photo ID on site to the city clerk representative or whoever is administering the board election. And we were still documentation in our last election, which was stressed vote by mail. We did find that a lot of stakeholders did not want to submit a copy of their photo ID through the internet or making a copy to mail into the city clerk. But we did have the one in-person voting day, which did bring a lot of people out. So, but this year, as many neighborhood councils have realized, the election that's happening early next year will be vote by mail only. So we need to consider whether we want to revert back to self-affirmation, which means that the person only fills out the voter registration form and does not submit any documentation on penalty of perjury that they are stating the truth as to what type of stakeholder they are, such as live, work, own property, or are a community interest stakeholder. However, as we know, there's very little enforcement of any rule in the city of Los Angeles, and certainly there wouldn't be any enforcement of that. So, and in the past, other neighborhood councils who were self-affirmation would have a lot of people voting by special interests. For example, in the past in Playa Vista, Westchester, when they were building all the new condos and apartments there, they had a tremendous, and there was controversy about the development. They had a lot of people who voted who said they worked in the neighborhood council, and, you know, it turned out that they were workers on the construction projects really for just a short time, but the project applicants, you know, got them registered to vote to try to influence the neighborhood council. And there was another case in Eagle Rock where the cannabis interests got a lot of people to vote. So it looks like Lou has a comment.
Am I unmuted?
Yes, I hadn't unmuted myself. Lou, please, please unmute and comment. Thank you.
I would like this issue to go to the bylaws committee. This is too dangerous, and just like Rosalie is saying, we don't know who these people are. People do not, they might declare under penalty of perjury, but we need some kind of way. We need to talk to some of these other neighborhood councils to find out how we can be sure, because this is very dangerous, and I'm sure that we're gonna have people that are voting in this, in our neighborhood council election that are not really our stakeholders. It's just a glaring thing that's going to happen. I can guarantee you that we're gonna have that. So I would like to see this to go to the bylaws committee for us to look at, consider, and maybe reach out to other neighborhood councils that have this issue before them.
Okay, thank you. Nita, you have your hands up.
Yes, while it wouldn't be a bad idea to send it to the bylaws committee, I just can't see self-affirmation working in Harbor Gateway North. It's already been so brutally corrupted by special interest parties that are continuing to do what they do. I can't see self-affirmation working here at all, in my personal opinion.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody else have anything to say, or shall we send it back to the committee?
Rosalie Preston makes a motion to table and refer to the bylaws committee.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Frankie second.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll take a vote on sending it back.
Okay, let me get. Joan Jacobs,
Yes.
Rosalie Preston, yes. Majeni Nixon,
Yes.
Laverne Frericks,
Yes.
Nita Stonehawker,
Yes.
Dave Trejo,
No.
Arby Powell,
Yes.
Marvin Bell,
Yes.
Oscar Ruiz,
Yes.
Frankie Mays,
Yes.
Jackie Jackson,
Yes.
Craig Kusunoki.
Yes.
Okay, the matter will go to the bylaws committee and it can come back to the board in September because we have till later in September for the deadline.
Okay, so as long as we have the time in September, otherwise there is still our retreat when we could take a vote, presumably. But thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. And now on to item number 5, committee appointments. And the next item is Majeni Nixon as to be added to the Finance Committee, and we will take a vote. Does anybody want to speak about this, or do we just, I just call for a motion?
Rosalie makes the motion to appoint Majeni Nixon to the Finance Committee.
Thank you. And a second, please.
Mr. Bell.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. And if there are no questions, I don't see anyone's hands up, then we can proceed to our vote. That is to vote Majeni Nixon to the Finance Committee.
Joan Jacobs,
Yes.
Rosalie Preston, yes. Majeni Nixon,
Yes.
Laverne Frericks,
Yes.
Nita Stonehawker,
Yes.
Dave Trejo,
Yes.
Arby Powell,
Yes.
Marvin Bell,
Yes.
Oscar Ruiz,
Yes.
Frankie Mays,
Yes.
Jackie Jackson,
Yes.
Craig Kusunoki.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Thank you very much and welcome to the Finance Committee, Majeni. Item number 6, which is administrative motions, approval of the July the 9th, 2024 board minutes. And we will vote. Have we all read the board minutes from the July 29th board meeting? Do we need to go over them, or are we fine with voting? Okay. I will call for a motion to approve the July the 9th, 2024 board minutes.
I make a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. And second?
Second. Madge seconds.
Thank you, Maj. And Rosalie, if there do not seem to be any questions, I will ask you to call for a vote.
Joan Jacobs,
Yes.
Rosalie Preston, yes. Majeni Nixon,
Yes.
Laverne Frericks,
Yes.
Nita Stonehawker,
Yes.
Dave Trejo,
Yes.
Arby Powell,
Yes.
Marvin Bell,
Yes.
Oscar Ruiz,
Yes.
Frankie May,
Yes.
Jackie Jackson,
Yes.
Craig Kusunoki.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Next item, 6C, approval of the July 2024, oh, no, July 23rd general membership minutes. Are there any questions about these? Have we all read them? That's the big thing. Anybody who needs to read them? Okay, and then I will call for a motion to approve the July 23rd, 2024 general membership minutes.
I make the motion.
Thank you. And a second, please.
I second.
Thank you. No hands are raised to discuss this. So Rosalie, if you please make the roll call.
Joan Jacobs,
Yes.
Rosalie Preston, yes. Majeni Nixon,
Yes.
Laverne Frericks,
Yes.
Nita Stonehawker,
Yes.
Dave Trejo,
Yes.
Arby Powell,
Yes.
Marvin Bell,
Yes.
Oscar Ruiz,
Yes.
Frankie May,
Yes.
Jackie Jackson,
Yes.
Craig Kusunoki.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Item 6C, approval of the July 2024 monthly expenditure report. Would you like this to be shown or explained? Do you want to go over that, Rosalie?
Or
is
Madge,
Madge.
I don't.
Madge,
Yeah,
I'm
we
so sorry, I'm getting muddled.
can if you'd like. I don't think it hurts if we can make it quick. Are you able to
Okay.
share the screen or?
I do not have that possibility.
I said that
Rosalie
anyone
does.
can share. I don't know.
Okay, I'll go ahead and share it. I have it up on my screen.
Okay, thank you.
Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't seem to, but I'll.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Yep, this is the monthly expenditure report of the mayor for July 2024.
Can you enlarge this?
Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome. How's that?
That's better. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome, Lou. So the beginning balance of the new fiscal year, that's $32,000. We have a total spend to date of $1,795.95, with a remaining balance of $30,204.05. I'll just scroll down, and if anybody has questions, I'm not looking at whose hands are up, just please unmute yourself and speak. But I'll just go through kind of high level some of the expenditures here. So our AT&T bill, USPS, this is stamps and the PO box. Our monthly rent, printer lease, a lot of office expenditures. And I'm assuming, Rosalie, this outstanding expenditures are things that were submitted but have not yet been approved in the system. Is that correct?
They've been submitted, but I believe it means they haven't cashed the checks.
Okay. So the Los Angeles Police Foundation, this was the $500 for the neighborhood purpose grant that we had submitted. I believe that was for the backpacks for the National Night Out that happened on August 6th. The August rent and our AT&T bill for August, or for really June and July. And then, yeah, the rest is the backup. So does anybody have any questions?
Okay. If there are no questions, then thank you, Madge.
You're welcome.
We will go ahead with the vote. I will call for a motion to approve.
Rosalie makes a motion to approve the July monthly expenditure report.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Arvi. And Rosalie for the roll call for the vote, please.
Joan Jacobs,
Yes.
Rosalie Preston, yes. Majeni Nixon,
Yes.
Laverne Frericks,
Yes.
Nita Stonehawker,
Yes.
Dave Trejo,
Yes.
Arby Powell,
Yes.
Marvin Bell,
Yes.
Oscar Ruiz,
Yes.
Frankie Mays,
Yes.
Jackie Jackson,
Yes.
Craig Kusunoki.
Yes.
Motion passes. And Madge, can you just mention, I think all the board got the notice of the rollover funds from last year's budget.
Right. I don't have that up and I forget the exact amount.
It was just a little over $10,000.
Oh, that's right.
Rolled over, so.
So that adds to the 32,000 that essentially everybody gets for the maximum, right?
Right.
Yes.
Thank
So
you.
that's where the outreach committee will be working on the election budget, outreach budget, and then the finance committee will probably hold a meeting to finalize the redistribution of those funds into our 2024-2025 budget.
Yeah, that's great.
So if you would let us know when that meeting will be, that will be lovely. Thank you. We'll arrange that shortly. Okay, item D, number 6, item D, approval of allocating $76.09 for Insight Investments in April 2024. Invoice number RT00648498 from the 2024-25 fiscal year funds. Do I have a sorry.
I think maybe Rosalie can add a little bit of extra context here, but this was a bill for, I believe, office expenditures that sort of fell through the cracks through the transition of Keith Pitt stepping down, and it wasn't paid on time. So essentially we're paying it now, but it missed the fiscal year deadline. Is that
Well,
correct?
that's what we thought, but then our funding representative, Laura Williford, said that apparently none of the neighborhood councils got those bills. This is for our copy machine in the office, which normally it's a Conica, but the city contracts with Inside Investments to handle the lease. And, you know, every city department has the copy machines through this company, and apparently, well, at least all the neighborhood councils never got the invoice. So it has to come out of last year's, well, this year's money, but then we have the rollover. So, and we were told we had to have a special vote on it because it was we're paying, paying for something that happened last year, but with this year's money. So I make a motion to pay that invoice.
Thank you. And a second, please.
I second.
Thank you very much, Madge. Okay, and Rosalie, if you would take for the roll call for the vote.
Joan Jacobs.
Yes.
Rosalie Preston, yes. Majeni Nixon.
Yes.
Laverne Frericks.
Yes.
Nita Stonehawker.
Yes.
Dave Trejo.
Yes.
Arby Powell.
Yes.
Marvin Bell.
Yes.
Oscar Ruiz.
Yes.
Frankie Mays.
Yes.
Jackie Jackson.
Yes.
Craig Kusunoki.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Going on to item number 7, position letters. A is approval of a revised comment letter on the Rexford Industrial Warehouse Office Building at 400-422 West Rosecrans Boulevard. LA County case number RPPL 202-300-1916 and 14400 South Figueroa Street, which is LA City, as recommended by the HGNNC Planning and Land Use Committee. Rosalie, would you like to speak about the letter, or has everybody read the letter?
So I believe that this incorporates all of the changes that we needed to make. It went through the Planning and Land Use Committee, and basically we're commenting on, we're very supportive of the plan for the Figueroa side, which is the office and all the new landscaping, which Rexford is even including an extra 2 trees for a total of 6 new trees on that side. And our concerns on the Rosecrans side in the unincorporated LA County are, just concerned that there may be some noise impact at night and also some additional air pollution to the area from the truck traffic. The project is expected to be used as a warehouse, but it is unknown. I mean, basically, Rexford Industrial is a real estate investment trust, so they build the building, and then when they have the approval from, it's really the only approval that they need is from the County of LA, because the LA City side on Figueroa is just going through Building and Safety Department. So once they have the approval from LA County Planning, then they would be able to advertise for someone to lease the building. And we've put in there some comments so that hopefully our issues and concerns would be addressed and be considered.
Right. I'll just
by
read
the
this.
company and the LA County.
Right. So I just want to read the comments at the last paragraph. Additionally, one of our goals is to see higher quality usages for the industrial facilities that line our Figueroa corridor, as opposed to warehousing that involves large truck traffic and is considered a heavier industrial use. For the Cal Enviro screen.
Excuse me, Joan, would you like me to share my screen on this one?
Oh, yes, that would be lovely. Thank you.
Okay.
Just to summarize the very end, that's all of the letter.
Okay,
So
I'm
if
gonna
we
blow
could
it
see
up.
page 2, yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me know where you're at.
Yeah, I was just looking at the very last paragraph, so we don't go through the whole thing, but what our concerns are really.
On page 2?
The bottom of page 2 is what I have, yes. Oh, maybe it's page 3, sorry. Yes, bottom of page 3. That's it, yes.
Okay.
So, yeah. So looking at the Harbour Gateway Community Plan update recommends encouraging green, sustainable industries that bolster the economic base and provide high skill and high wage job opportunities for local residents. The updated community plan also calls for the transition of industrial land uses from heavier industrial uses to lighter industrial uses in close proximity to residential neighborhoods in order to minimize the negative environmental and visual impacts to the community. So our concerns are written in there, particularly in the last 2 paragraphs, and the fact that we are an environmental justice community. So thank you very much. And I would like to call for a motion to recommend this letter.
Rosalie makes the motion to approve the comment letter.
I second.
Thank you. And are there any further questions or comments?
I just want to note that as at past meetings, Rexford Industrial is present with 3 of their representatives, just in case there were any further questions.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? No? Okay, then Rosalie, I will ask you for the roll call, please.
Joan Jacobs,
Yes.
Rosalie Preston, yes. Majeni Nixon,
Yes.
Laverne Frerichs,
Yes.
Nita Stonehawker,
Yes.
Dave Trejo,
Yes.
Harvey Powell,
Yes.
Marvin Bell,
Yes.
Oscar Ruiz,
Yes.
Frankie Mays,
Yes.
Jackie Jackson, I think Jackie's left. Okay. But Craig Kusanokii.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Thank you. Then item 7B, support for the indirect source rule 2306 air pollution reduction at rail yards as recommended by the Planning and Land Use Committee. And have we read this letter? Does anybody have questions regarding it?
I
we
just want to give a little background. So
Okay, thank you. Yes,
we
go ahead.
we had people reaching out to us regarding the indirect source rule before it was taken up by the South Coast AQMD board. And there was a presentation made at the Planning and Land Use Committee. So actually the South Coast board already passed it. A few of us were able to send in our individual comments before the vote, but we thought it would be good just for our board to be on the record in support of it.
Yes.
And to make our elected officials aware. Basically, it's a way to lower the amount of air pollution in the greater Southern California area, in LA, Orange, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties, by requiring that the railroads that use about, I think there's 20 maybe rail yards. Most of them are to the east of downtown Los Angeles. But I managed to figure out from a map of the rail lines that go through our neighborhood, which is the one that travels north on Vermont Avenue and then south of Rosecrans Recreation Center, and the one that Marvin Bell was referring to earlier that travels south of the 105 and goes to the east through our neighborhood council. It turns out those 2 lines meet up in Watts area along Long Beach Boulevard, and they seem to travel to the East LA rail yard, which is one of the rail yards that would be impacted. And the requirement would be that the railroads change out their diesel-powered engines to electric, and also that trucks using those particular freight rail yards have to become electric or zero emissions, and also the equipment in the rail yards becomes electric. So it's considered the environmental community had tried to get this passed some years ago and failed. So it was considered a big victory when the South Coast AQMD passed it. And of course, the railroads are fighting it, but at least it's something to try to work toward those goals.
Thank you very much. Okay. So we have a motion to approve this letter.
Rosalie makes the motion to support
The letter, the
Yes.
indirect source rule.
source rule. Yeah, the comment letter on the indirect source rule regarding
Rail yards. Thank
rail
you.
yard.
And a second, please.
Second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Nita. Okay, Rosalie, if there are no further questions, and I see no hands raised, Rosalie, if you would take the roll call.
Joan Jacobs,
Yes.
Rosalie Preston, yes. Majeni Nixon,
Yes.
Laverne Frericks,
Yes.
Nita Stonehawker,
Yes.
Dave Trejo,
Yes.
Arby Powell,
Yes.
Marvin Bell,
Yes.
Oscar Ruiz,
Yes.
Frankie Mays,
Yes.
Jackie Jackson,
Yes.
Craig Kusunoki.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Thank you. Item number 8, board business and announcements. Are there any reports from committee chairs?
Rosalie Preston, on behalf of the Planning and Land Use Committee. We will
Go ahead.
probably hold a meeting on the fourth Thursday to discuss a few issues. One is that we learned last week that the final EIR on the Prologis warehouse project at Vermont, the northeast corner of Vermont Avenue and Redondo Beach Boulevard. The final EIR is in the process of being worked on by the Department of City Planning, major projects, with an expectation it might be out later this fall. And then it would go to the Plum Planning and Land Use Management Committee of the LA City Council. And that would be the next place for public comment on that issue. And also the Outreach Committee is meeting Thursday to further discuss plans for the board election. And I wanted to note that candidate filing for the board is going to start in late November.
Okay. Is that it? Okay, thank you, Rosalie. Are there any other committee chairs? Have any other committees been meeting? Apparently not. So let us go on to any announcements from board members. Rosalie, did you want to announce about the retreat?
Well, our retreat is a week from this Saturday, August 24th. We'll start at 9:30 and we're meeting at 555 West Redondo Beach Boulevard in the same room where we held the general membership meeting, but the air conditioning will be on. So, and we've got Alicia Rivera from Communities for a Better Environment discussing how to engage our stakeholders on key issues, including environmental justice issues, to help work on issues that are important to our community. And we're still working on, for the afternoon or after she speaks, a presentation on more details of how to get medians beautified with trees and plantings. We're hoping that Councilmember Marquise Harris Dawson's office will be able to make a presentation on the beautiful work they've done on Broadway, north of Imperial Highway.
Okay.
But if not, I have some backup plans, so.
Okay. Thank you very much. You've put a lot of work into this, so thank you. Okay, if there are no other board business, I call this meeting adjourned. I adjourn this meeting. Thank you all for coming. Thank you everyone for participating, and I hope to see a lot of you on the 24th. Certainly all the board members.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night.
Stay safe. Thank you.
Good night.